Hello, good afternoon to everybody. It's a great honor and a privilege for me to be here with you on this 20th of June and to speak about our common goals with the resistance in Iran. The regime in Iran is a danger for all the world. That is clear now from 4 decades now. And we have been seeing how this regime, this monstrous regime, has been surviving a war, surviving all the repression, surviving all this crisis and the enormous suffering of their people without any scruple and without any kind of compassion for their own people and exploiting it to death, never better said. Now we are in a moment where we are seeing that the regime, even with all the appeasement and collaboration that it has had in unjustifiable way by Western countries, mainly, I must say, and I must say it with shame, from Europe, even so, the regime is in a critical phase. The resistance is every day stronger, and we have seen it this last 3 years in a almost spectacular way. Even with the situation we have now, we still have enormous tasks in fighting this common enemy, as I say, common enemy of the Iranian people and of all peace-loving and all Democrats in the world. We have in Spain now a very dangerous ally of the regime. We have a puppet of the regime. We have a Communist Party which has been financed and supported by the mullahs in Spain, and it is in the government in this moment. So it is for us a very dangerous moment. But now fighting for the survival of the democracy in Spain and fighting for the democracy in Europe, in the United States, in Venezuela, where we have the other allies of evil of the Tehran regime in Venezuela and all the expansion they had in South America, all the forces have to unite it really to give support to the resistance in Iran to break really the bone to this regime and to put it for to the end and to finish this history of terror that is now almost 40 years old. As I say, there are many things happening in a very speedious way, in a very dangerous way for many forces. But there are also very right decisions being taken, because even with the resistance of some of the people who are working for the regime in Europe, we are seeing that we are having very important steps now in Europe towards the regime. Even if Borrell goes to Tehran, which I found personally a shame that he went there after the great, big, enormous and terrifying repression. Even so, we are seeing other moves which are very optimistic for us, which are, for example, Hezbollah is going to have it far more difficult for the terror display in Europe and for using this terror as well for their work in South America. The fight against Hezbollah is a fight against the regime in Tehran, and it's one of the really important tasks that we have if we are fighting for freedom, if we're fighting for liberty in every corner of the world. We have to have it very clear that we have very dangerous and very specific enemies. These enemies are the drug cartels, with the regime in Venezuela of Maduro, who is the ally of Tehran, and with all these axes in the Foro de Sao Paulo in South America, which is connected also with the regime in Iran. We have many, as I say, many international connections in this form that try to break this isolation of Iran and try to help the regime, this Massoud regime, to survive even with their failure, with their complete failure, and for failure towards their own people. So, as I say, things are moving fast in many directions. The forces we are confronting are very dangerous, but I'm looking really with hope that we are going to be close, and even we are always closer to the end of this monstrous regime. And I hope really that the NCRI and the opposition in Iran celebrates in not too much time, and not a long time, that it celebrates this triumph of bringing democracy and a real open Iran for liberty, for freedom of enterprise, for equality, gender equality, for, as I say, for human rights, global human rights for all Iranians and all the neighbors of Iran. I hope, as I say, that we are now opening these steps where you, the Iranian opposition, have to play, and they leading a major role. And I hope that we can help you in this path towards liberty for the Iranian people. Thank you very much to all of you.